lovely. So can you guys see my screen now? Oh, wait,
No.
I think it said something here. Google Chrome, yeah, I need to grant access. Sorry, just a sec. Okay. Yes.
You look really nice.
It says Google Chrome will not be able to. Okay, later. Let's see if that works now. Can you see my screen now?
No.
Huh. Okay, just a moment. I'm gonna try again. Yeah. Okay. Open share. What is in here? Yeah, I think this is it. Is that it out?
Yes, we can see it. Yay.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. And do you reckon everyone can mute themselves just to make it easier and more clear? Perfect. Okay. So in this presentation, I'm going to speak about how and why to meditate, and as well as talking about my own experiences of getting into meditation and what it's done for me. I'm also going to speak a little bit about how meditation affects our bodies and where meditation is going, or where I believe it to be going. And before I begin, I thought I might introduce myself a little bit. So I'm a university student at the University of Manchester, currently studying social anthropology. And yeah, and over lockdown is really when my my meditation, in terms of publicizing my meditation, took off. It started with me doing online exercise videos, and then I thought, why don't I do a meditation following the exercise to sort of calm down the space, bring down the energy, and it's sort of taken off since lockdown. And I have, it's like when you find the thing that drives you and is right for you, it feels so easy to go with that. And so this is how this has felt with doing the meditation practice and sharing it with people and creating a channel and a kind of image. It's felt so effortless, and I feel like it feels like the Tao for me. If people haven't heard of it, the Taoist philosophy is all about flow and finding the flow and effortless ease. And it definitely feels like coming into meditation practice and sharing it with people is my version of allowing the flow to kind of guide and direct my life. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and let's get started. So first, why I began meditating. So throughout my childhood, I had a lot of trouble sleeping. I had insomnia, and a lot of people wouldn't necessarily say they have insomnia, but insomnia is pretty much if you have trouble staying asleep through the night or trouble getting to sleep repeatedly, that is classified as insomnia. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily like to diagnose themselves with having something that sounds kind of clinical, but I think it can be helpful in actually navigating how to help things that maybe hinder us in life. And as a child, I found it very difficult to get to sleep, and I would cry a lot. And also I had episodes of sleep paralysis throughout my life as well, and I just didn't enjoy sleeping. And when I was 14, after many years of kind of lying in my bed for hours on end, anxious, thinking about everything that had happened throughout the day, I just thought, I need to find a way to actually fall asleep because I'm sick of it. I don't want to be in my bed and feel restless and feel stressed. And I heard about meditation and began meditating because of that. And the first meditation I ever did was a candle meditation. And I just stared into a candle and allowed tears to kind of pour from my eyes because I wouldn't close them, just staring into this candle. And the room actually began to feel like it was breathing. It was a really sort of somatic experience, and very interesting. And from then on, I kind of was on and off with my meditation practice, but this is pretty much why I began. And it was out of my own curiosity as well. And it was strange when I began. I felt very strange doing it. I felt a little bit like it was something illicit because, I'd seen people kind of sitting in a meditative position, and I just thought, this isn't normal. This isn't what normal teenagers do. I'm a bit weird. But it's got me to where I am now. And yeah, I mean, I'll go into how it's affected me in general as we go through the presentation, but in general, wow, I wouldn't take it back for the world. So that is why I began. Now, what is meditation? I think that it's funny because when I was around 14, 15, I was listening to a scientist called Sam Harris, who's a really, really good speaker, really captivating and very, very knowledgeable. I was listening to him talk about meditation, and he was saying that he believes that in 5-10 years time from now, meditation is going to be prescribed to the public in the same way exercise is. And what I'm finding amongst the kind of medical academic space, or medics that are also kind of polemics, like if you've ever heard of Rangan Chatterjee, he's an amazing doctor who is really bridging together knowledge of ancient medicine and Western medicine and sort of putting them on par with each other and saying they're equally as important, and we need to value both in order to move forward and really affect positive healing and positive change in healthcare in the world. And yeah, so he speaks about meditation, and he has people on, and he talks about, you know, prescribing meditation as a way of feeling good and a way of affecting your body. So what is meditation? I'll come back to that point. What is meditation? It is now something that is being spoken about a lot, and I think that a lot of the time when something like this starts getting spoken about, which is quite an esoteric thing to begin with, it can be difficult to pinpoint what it is. And I've got this lovely image of a woman here meditating on a lotus with her third eye open. And for some people, this is what meditation is. For other people, it's being active. It's talking to someone and kind of really getting involved in what they're saying and just feeling like you're almost in a tunnel of conversation with that person. But here I'm gonna read a quote from the Bhagavad Gita, which is an ancient Hindu scripture, which also translates the words "the song of God" or "the songs of God." And so it says here, "When meditation is mastered, the mind is unwavering, like the flame of a lamp in a windless place. In the still mind, in the depths of meditation, the self reveals itself. Beholding the self by means of the self, an aspirant knows the joy and peace of complete fulfillment." So in the Bhagavad Gita, meditation is all about making your mind single pointed and focusing on one tiny point in order to still yourself and to move into calmness and to kind of detach from the mind that's always jumping around. The monkey mind is what people call it. And that's one form of meditation. But the two meditations that we have down here, the Buddhist thoughts, samatha meditation is to do with that single pointed, one minded meditation where you lose all thoughts and you are just in stillness. But vipassana meditation, which I think makes meditation more accessible for people who are trying to get involved, is actually allowing the thoughts to come through and watching them. Because what can be really daunting when people begin meditation is saying, well, I don't want to stop thinking, and I'm afraid of stopping thinking, and why should I stop thinking? And what I like to address when I do meditation is that meditation should be as varied as individuals are. And I'd like to in the future help people to create practices that are individualized, because I do believe that meditation can be as individual as humans are. And with Vipassana, looking at your thoughts and allowing the content to drift by, and, you know, eventually being able to just become the awareness of the thoughts, is so beneficial in many different facets of our life, which you can feel when you do a meditation practice. And as I said, it can be daunting thinking, you know, I just want to switch my mind off, but there are so many other ways to meditate. Like a lot of the meditation I do is creative visualization. So I go to calm places, like by a beach or in nature or with a friend. And that to me is meditating, because I've taken myself away from the monkey mind that's telling me to do this and do that and go here and be there, and instead to just come into a space where I am allowed to be still. And I say that to myself. I go, I deserve to rest, because I think another thing that hinders us from doing meditation is not feeling like we deserve to slow down, because we don't live in a society that values rest. But meditation, you know, it leads to more fulfilling and more successful doing. So what is meditation? That might have been a bit of an unclear way of saying it, but it's because there are so many ways of describing it. Now, how meditation changes your brain and body. So the first point I put is stress reduction, which you can feel when you do meditation for a long time. Like I would definitely say throughout my teenage years and childhood, I was a very anxious person. And I could safely say I can experience anxiety now, but I wouldn't label myself as an anxious person. And it's also proven that people who do regular meditation have lower levels of cortisol in their body, and cortisol is the stress hormone. So when you wake up in the morning and you feel the need to move, it's because your body has a rush of cortisol, which actually helps you get up and out of bed. But a nice thing about the morning practice, which I do meditation in the morning, is slowing that down and going, yes, now I've got this thrive and this want to do. Let me hone in on that and come into stillness before, running with the day. And I put here, protects our bodies. So there was a study done on meditators against non-meditators, and both were injected with the flu virus. And the non-meditators produced less antibodies than the meditators did. And this is all very new science, which needs more research into, and more, we need to understand it better. So I don't actually know why it does that. And I don't think the scientists did themselves, but they saw that correlation. So that's quite interesting, that stilling your mind can actually help your body to repair. And changes the shape and structure of our brains. So there's a part of our brain called the amygdala. And when this part of our brain is associated with stress, with fear, and with blood pressure, and it has been shown that for people who meditate over a long period of time, this part of our brain actually shrinks. And so the part of our brain which is receiving and transmitting fear and stress and regulating our blood pressure is actually decreasing. As well as that, the hippocampus, which is the part of our brain which regulates emotions, which is actually a part of our brain that is people who experience PTSD and depression have a deficit in this space. So if you experience these types of illnesses, you might feel like you have more mood swings, or you feel less stable in yourself in general. And when you meditate, this part of our brain actually grows. And so as well as, this general feeling of going into a relaxed state, our brain is actually changing its structure in order to actually accommodate for a better state of being in our minds. As well as that, there's also more communication across the two hemispheres and across the front and back of our brains when we meditate, which also leads to better problem solving. And when our brain's communicating with itself, it's just generally going to lead to a better way of kind of connecting with what we want to think about and how we want to bring our ideas to the fore. And as well as this, there were also, so we have different brain waves that we're in depending on what state of consciousness we're in. So if we're in the waking state, most of the time we're in the beta brain state, which is problem solving, thinking, doing. And alpha is also another state we can be in, but it tends to be when we're feeling more relaxed in our conscious day. And monks were actually put under a scanner to see what brain waves they were in for most of the time. And their brains tend to be in the alpha wave constantly, which shows that they are in more of a relaxed state over a longer period of time. Whereas people who don't meditate as much tend to be in the beta problem solving state and not in the alpha, which is associated with more positive emotions. So as well as a good feeling, it is literally changing our physiology, which is fascinating to me, that we can just sit and still our minds and our bodies are repairing. It's very, very interesting stuff.
Can I just add something? Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. It's just about the immune response to the flu jab.
Mm-hmm.
Cortisol actually suppresses your immune system.
Yes.
So yeah. That's probably why. Probably why non-meditators have less antibodies.
Yeah, I actually thought about that when I said it. I thought about the parasympathetic system compared to the sympathetic nervous system. And there's a really interesting doctor called Lissa Rankin who speaks a lot about the mind-body connection and talks about how when you relax, your body is producing the hormones like endorphins and oxytocin that actually help you to heal. So yeah, exactly. Thank you for picking up on that, because that's a really good point. So now I'm going to show you guys a little video. Where is meditation going? This is a wonderful, wonderful example of where we could be throughout all schools in the world if we bring this stuff closer to the mainstream. So let me see if you guys can see this. Can you see YouTube now?
You might not expect to find inner peace.
Can you guys see YouTube?
No, we don't.
Okay, wait, let me just
just adapt your settings with the screen sharing, because you can either share one thingy or you can share multiple ones.
Oh, okay. I'll share multiple ones. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I'm just gonna Chrome tab. I'm just gonna share this really quickly. Okay, can you see now? You can see that, right?
Yes, yes.
Amazing. Okay.
Peace inside a bustling elementary school, but a growing number of students in Baltimore are learning to do just that. They start each day with deep breathing. Tony DeCopel is at Baltimore's Robert Coleman Elementary School, where misbehaving children are sent to the meditation room instead of the principal's office. That's a new approach. Tony, good morning.
Good morning. Every day here at Robert Coleman Elementary School begins with what the school calls a mindful moment. It's a 15-minute blend of yoga and meditation, and you can actually see some of it going on behind me right now in this first grade classroom. Don't worry, they can tune me out. You might not expect this kind of thing in West Baltimore, but it's actually the vision of two brothers from right here in the neighborhood. It's the morning rush at Robert Coleman Elementary School.
Last name.
But after the buses arrive and the kids pour in, the usual classroom chatter comes to a complete stop.
Filling your belly like a balloon.
Twice a day, more than 300 students
All the way up to the top.
take part in a program called Mindful Moments. They learn to breathe,
Exhale, bring your arms back down nice and slowly.
stretch, and block out distractions.
Inhale deeply.
And you've seen a difference.
A huge difference.
Carlillian Thompson is the school principal.
They actually taught the students how to redirect that negative energy into something positive.
So have you seen suspensions go down?
We've had 0 suspensions.
Hold on to that breath. When students fight or misbehave at Coleman, they aren't sent to the principal's office. Instead, they come here to the Mindful Me room, where they're taught to resolve conflicts peacefully.
Inhale and deep. Lock your chin to your chest.
And teach others what they've learned. All right, how do I do it?
Breathe up straight. Breathe through your nose.
Sierra, how does it make you feel?
When I was breathing, all the things that been happening, I passed that on. All the problems, I passed that on and worry about what's more important.
The program is the vision of Ali and Ottman Smith, who grew up nearby in one of Baltimore's most volatile neighborhoods.
There's violence going on in the neighborhood. There's drug abuse in the neighborhood. So it's just, there's all these things just getting dumped on these kids, and they need a way to to deal with it.
Many of the children witnessed the riots that erupted in their city in 2015. The brothers' mission, they say, is now also a matter of personal activism.
We're teaching kids at a young age to try to really make a change in our community as far as how conflicts are resolved. Because if they worry about the past, it brings about anger, or if they worry about the future, it causes anxiety. And these techniques kind of make you focus on the present, which that's all there ever really is.
Now, but of course, the brothers do have a vision for their own future. Right now, they are in 14 public schools here in Baltimore, reaching about 4,000 kids per week, but it's working so well, they want to go to other cities and other students as soon as possible. Nora?
Tony, thank you. I absolutely love this story,
Me too. I hope other schools are watching it. It's great that they're getting them at such a young age.
No, the Smith brothers make a good point about trying to resolve conflict. And as many teachers will tell you, sometimes they can't teach because of other issues that kids are facing.
Should they start meditating in Washington, do you think?
I know, I agree. Pass a law.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, I'm going to stop the share and get back to the presentation. Oh. There we go. Yeah, so that's a lovely little video. It makes me so hopeful for the future. And advice I have for starting your own meditation practice. So first of all, finding a time that works best for you. So the way I do meditation is I usually do it in the morning, and it gets to a point where you do it so many times at the same time that works for you, and it becomes like a routine. It's like brushing your teeth. And I think that if you'd like to start a practice, the main thing is knowing yourself and knowing when you would actually sit down to have that time. Because if we decide, okay, I'm going to do it at this point because I've heard that's good, then it's likely it won't necessarily translate to a practice that goes on for a long time, because everyone, as I said, has a different way of relating to meditation and finding a calm space. So yeah, definitely finding out when works best for you is a really important part of it. And second, accepting the thoughts will come up, accepting that when you sit down to meditate, it's unlikely that your mind will go blank for very long spaces of time. But what's important is finding those moments of peace in the monkey mind, and then slowly coming back into the awareness at every point that you are watching the thoughts going by, as opposed to being the thoughts themselves. And, you know, every day, if you repeat every day to yourself, at least once a day, I am the awareness of my thoughts and not my thoughts. I'm the awareness of my body. I'm not my body. Eventually those truths begin to kind of make their way into your subconscious. And actually, I read a really interesting book called by Deepak Chopra called Mind Body Medicine, and he did an experiment where he was actually able to see how chemicals in our bodies are affected by a thought. And neuropeptides are the chemicals that are involved in thinking, and funnily enough, all of our organs produce neuropeptides, and they are the chemical transmitters of thoughts. And what he found was that when we have a thought, every single part of our body is affected, because neuropeptides pretty much are excreted into everywhere. And so if we're having a daily thought of, you know, telling yourself, I am patient with myself, I'm the awareness of my thoughts, even though we feel like those things aren't important, actually every single part of our body is being affected by those words. And so I do believe that over practice and with repetition, we begin to embody those truths. And yeah, it's quite an interesting book. I definitely recommend it. Third point, be patient with yourself and be grateful for starting the process. So whenever I start meditations, I always say, just showing up to the meditation is so much already, because it's you saying to yourself, I deserve to be still, I deserve to work on myself, and I know that I deserve to be happy, you know, because a lot of people actually don't do the work and don't start the process because they don't feel like they have time to stop rushing, and perhaps somewhere inside of them it's the case that they don't feel they deserve to stop. You know, one of my mantras is really, I deserve to rest. And being patient with yourself as you start a practice is important, because, you know, everyone wants to get to that point where I'm enlightened, I've reached my higher self, I'm calm now, everything's so good, and I don't need to worry about life anymore. And I think that we are on earth to heal, and so being patient with the process and with ourselves is so important, because it is where we have the consistency and the repetition through that patience that we begin to see the positive effects seep out into every part of our life. And I really will say from experience that it definitely does affect everything, because our state of mind is where it all begins. And it doesn't matter what's going on around us, it is our perception of what is happening which affects how we then navigate through the world. And then finally is trust the process. Like if you sit there and you go, wow, I'm still stressed, my life is still, you know, it's a lot for me, and I don't know if this is going to work. Really having faith and trusting that this is something that will do you good. And also just not being hard on yourself if you can't do a daily practice and it's, you know, it's on and off, and just trusting that those moments where you sat down to be with yourself was doing something is enough, and you are always enough, and what you're doing is always enough. I think that's a really important part of starting any practice, because it shouldn't be about meeting, you know, specific goals and filling any egoic tendencies which lead us into conflict with ourselves. It's just going, I'm setting aside a time for myself because I deserve peace, and I am doing the best that I can always. And yeah, now let's do some meditation. Lovely. So if you're not already sitting in a comfortable spot, I'd like you to find a comfortable spot. And we'll begin to check in with our breath, breathing in deeply, breathing air through our nose. Exhale, release all tensity from our bodies now. Inhale, inhaling light into every cell of our bodies. Exhale, release all tension. And I'd like you to face your palms up to receive energy, or face them down for grounding. And we'll begin with scanning our bodies for any tension, beginning with our feet, breathing air into our feet and allowing our feet to soften. Bringing our attention up our feet, up our legs, into our knees. As we breathe in and out, releasing all tension, like smoke evaporating from our body, allowing us to move into stillness. Bring your awareness up your thighs, into your sit bones, connecting with peace, connecting with stillness. Bring our awareness to our abdominal, our stomach, and exhale, allowing our stomachs to expand, releasing all tension we may be holding in our stomachs, in our solar plexus. Slowly making our way up our spines. Imagine that each vertebrae begins to glow as our attention is slowly drawn up our spines and we begin to relax. Make your way down your right arm, your right hand, beginning to gently soften as we bring loving awareness into every part of our body. Make your way down your left arm, your left hand, allowing your shoulders to drop, bringing light into these spaces. Come into your jaw, feel your mouth softly drop open and soften as we release all tension in our jaws. Bring awareness into our nose, our nasal passage, gently softening. Coming into our eyes, feel the creases on our eyelids begin to melt down our face, relaxing, softening. And then finally coming into our foreheads, allowing all tension to drop from our foreheads. Feeling our thoughts begin to drift away as peace cascades through our entire being. Breathing in light from the universe around us. Exhaling, softening. And becoming aware of the sensation of air as it enters our nose. Feeling the coolness of the air as breath is brought into our nose. And feeling the heat of the air as our body exhales. Feeling the gentle rise and fall of our chest. The gentle rise and fall of our stomachs. And come to a space in your body that you may feel holds more tension than other spots. Come into this space, inhabit this space. And as you become aware of this space, imagine a ball of glowing golden energy begins to spin and play in this spot. And as you breathe, feel this glowing ball begin to grow until it encompasses your entire body, your entire physical body. As your heart beats, this golden glowing energy from the ball is pumping around your body, bringing light, bringing ease to any space that may be holding tension, healing all wounds, physical, mental, emotional, and energetic. Breathing in peace. Exhale, accepting and releasing all stress, all negativity. And with this glowing ball that we had from the beginning, imagine that it's beginning to shrink again and is now being held in your stomach space. In the space is the powerhouse of our body, our digestive system. Imagine this glowing golden ball as a personal sun, a personal ball of healing. And feel the warmth in your digestive system, in your stomach, keeping you alive. And take a moment to be grateful for your body, for this experience. And being grateful for yourselves, for all that you do, for yourself and everyone around you. And know how grateful the world is to have you here. And begin to bring attention back to the space you're in. Become aware of the objects around you. Maybe slowly begin to move your hands and your feet, bringing gentle awareness back into your extremities, back into your body. And slowly, in your own time, without any need to rush, begin to softly open your eyes if they've been closed and return to the room. Lovely. I hope that was enjoyable and everyone feels slightly more peaceful on this Sunday evening. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for joining. And if anyone has any questions, I'm going to stop the sharing now, if I can. Yeah. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask me whatever you'd like to ask me.
I just want to say, Phil, I can't speak now. That I really enjoyed your presentation. It was really inspiring. I really liked how, just the information you shared. It was really insightful. And now I just want to meditate every day.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet.
But one thing that I was actually thinking is like, because obviously you said you've been meditating since you were 14.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that for you, like, changed things? How are you able to deal with things differently from people around you that don't meditate? What is something that you notice in yourself that others don't really have because of your meditation?
Yeah, I don't want to, it's funny, I don't want to like compare myself in any way because I don't want to say, I'm any better than anyone. But I definitely can see with myself, if I compare myself to how I used to be, I have a lot more patience for myself and for people around me. And when I feel an emotion coming up, I have the ability to stop and observe, as opposed to get into the narrative of I am now experiencing this. This is what my state is, and I'm stressed. I go, oh, stress has come through. Let me look at it. Let me watch it. And then I watch it, and all of a sudden, like, I can feel stress in my body. It's everywhere. And then it passes. And I definitely find that I also find I was always very jumpy and much more paranoid and much more fearful as a person. I really don't have those properties. If anything, I'm a bit like a sloth when it comes to reactions. Things drop around me and I kind of look and notice. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably do something about that. But definitely, yeah, much more slowness. And I really do feel like, because it doesn't mean I still have tendencies to speed up and to rush. But I do find myself definitely thinking things will happen at the right time and I do not need to rush. Yeah, and there's also just generally a sense of, I feel a lot more compassion for when people are stressed, because I think that when people are stressed, it can make other people feel annoyed, or it definitely has made me feel annoyed in the past. I get annoyed when someone's stressed because it makes me feel stressed. But because I can come back into my own feeling of peace and go and breathe and go, okay, that person's going through something, I definitely feel like I've developed more compassion for what people are going through. Yeah.
Interesting.
I had a question. So since you've been meditating for such a long time, and obviously you've grown as a person, so do you feel like how you meditate has changed? Like, have you added more tools, or like, I don't know. Yeah.
Definitely, 100%. That's a really interesting journey, actually, because when I first began meditating, I didn't actually know what I was doing. And so for years, I just did the demand. So I started actually listening to music. That's how I got into it, listening to sort of meditation music on YouTube, like Krishna flute music or whatever. Or I would do mantra chanting. So I would just literally, for an hour, I would sit and I would just go Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, but in my head. And that helped me to just get to that point of single-minded, single-pointed awareness. And then over time, so 2 winters ago, I read a book called Creative Visualization, and that changed my meditation a lot because I began to visualize a lot, as opposed to just being in stillness. And then actually very recently, I realized how much I've been missing stillness meditation, because creative visualization is incredible, but it doesn't take you to a place where you feel very calm. It can be very vivid and active. So it's really fluctuated a lot. And I would say that the techniques I use on a day-to-day basis are actually different. But what I think is the most beneficial and what has helped me the most is the stillness meditation, where I'm actively trying to go into thoughtless awareness. But yeah, good question. Yeah. Got some hands. How do I do that? Thank you for your question, Anya. I hope that answered it well.
Yeah, that was a great answer. Thank you.
Thank you. How do I answer people? How does that work?
It's Michal first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been meditating for I want to say a year and a half, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I still find myself reacting to my thoughts while meditating. This I suppose concept of observing your thoughts is still kind of alien to me a lot.
Yeah.
What can I kind of do to, I suppose, experience and or allow myself to just observe my thoughts instead of reacting to them?
Yeah. Well, I guess it begins with the reactions that you have to the thoughts. So if they're like loving reactions and you go, okay, that's come up, and you say, so if it's a thought that you don't necessarily like, or it's something that, because I always like to think that there are different kind of voices. Like there's the parent voice, there's the critic voice, and the ones that come up in meditation aren't always very nice. But if you bring through the loving voice that goes, I'm having a thought, that's okay, and you let it pass, that can help. Another technique that I like to use is actually visualizing the thought. So I have a visualization technique where I imagine I'm in a boat on a river and my thoughts are inside leaves, and I'm meandering down the river and I see the thoughts as leaves and they're kind of passing and the river's moving forward. And also, in general, I actually think when you have a very active mind during meditation and you find it hard to be the observer, sometimes it's good to do visualization, because it takes you into a space where actually you're working with the thought forms as opposed to going against them, like allowing yourself to move into your thoughts. So it's a convoluted answer, but I think in general, having a conversation with your thoughts and saying to that thought, I don't judge that you're there, maybe even going into why you're there, and then trying to come back into stillness, so that, the thing is when we go into our thoughts, when we're meditating, we get caught up in being the thought and we forget that we're meditating. And sometimes it's fun to what I used to do is I would go into the thought and realize I was there, and then I would go, this thought's come up because of this. Now let me go back through the train to get to stillness, because it's like you have to think, oh, I'm meditating. Oh, I'm going to tell this person I'm meditating. That person's going to have lunch with me. Well, I'm going to go for lunch. I'm going to buy my lunch from Lidl because I'm having food in my fridge. How much do I have in my bank account? And then it's like,
it's a chain.
Yeah. And I think what's been so helpful for me is actually trying to go back through the chain to get to the stillness again. And then you are aware, okay, I'm going through the chain of thoughts. And just generally practice. It's difficult because I can't remember the first time that I felt like I was the awareness, but it was I remember being a very intense experience. All of a sudden, it was just really, I felt this physical wave of vibration coming through me, and I was like, something's coming through, and I am aware of it, but I am not with my thoughts anymore. But definitely practicing, you 100% is going to get there.
Yeah, I have patience, and meditation did teach me patience a lot.
Yeah,
I'm surprisingly, like, looking at myself from a year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Today I'm super patient as a person with everything.
Yes.
And I would recommend the way I go about meditation is, let's say if I'm doing something that I am not really feel like doing the thing, I just kind of also do that as a meditation, as in I just focus a lot. I put all of my intention into whatever that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And do that to cope, so to speak, with what I'm doing. But also, if, for example, if I have not meditated that day, I can kind of I can reimburse, so to say, while doing that. And also, just I'll give the floor to Jackie. I recommend a book. I suppose you've read it before, The Power of Now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend that to everyone if you are starting with meditation.
Yeah, it's a really good book. I read it when I was quite young. I think I'd actually quite like to read it with fresh eyes. So I'm going to dig it out from wherever it is. Yeah.
Jackie, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I think I've got like I feel like I'm naturally very good at meditation. I had a very active imagination when I was a kid. So I used to do visualizations all the time, every night before I went to sleep. I would like dream about my like dream world when I was a kid. I thought it was normal, but apparently it's not. And it also helped me with my sleep and stuff, because I also had problems sleeping when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then I think because I'm an osteopath as well, we have to focus so much on what we're feeling. So when it comes to the stillness meditation, when I started doing that, I'm really good at it. I can literally just blank my mind for like an hour.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's actually weird. I don't meditate that often, but when I do, I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
And it's actually, I have all sorts of physical sensations throughout my body.
Yeah.
One thing that I'd say to Michal is like, I think the leaf thing is really important, but also like I always visualize clouds. Like every time I catch myself, I'm just like, oh, it's a cloud, it's another cloud, like let it, and I physically try and let it go. Like you just let it go, and then your mind will pick on something else, but just always let it go. That's how I always think of it. And struggling with the thought, really focus on your senses. Like what are your hands feeling? What are your shoulders feeling? Whatever. But no, one question I had was, I'm having like this recurrent dream.
Yeah.
Like it's really weird. Like and so I was just wondering, like, can meditation help you with those kind of things that you're not really understanding? Have you found that you've been able to unlock something?
Definitely, yeah. Because I think that when we meditate, we begin to connect to intuition, and we begin to connect with the unseen as well. And I think that, I was listening to a guy called Robert Simmons, and he spoke about how his wife was saying that meditation and creative visualization is a very good way of getting into non-ordinary states of reality. And the first time I ever actually received any messages from meditation was I'd heard, so in the book Creative Visualization, she speaks about asking parts of your body why they're feeling a certain way, and then just see what message comes up and don't judge it. And the first one I got was I asked my nose, why are you doing this? Because I had a blocked nose for like 6 months. And I asked why. And I got the message, give up. And I just thought, what? I don't like that message at all. No, I'm rejecting it. And then for the rest of the day, I thought to myself, I have been nonstop for 6 months. I've been going out, I've been meeting people. I haven't had a break, and my nose was telling me, give up, have a rest. And it really helped me to think, okay, my body is showing me that I need rest, I need to stop. And that was basically an insight, an intuition. And I don't know how I got the message, but I do believe that we have an ability to perceive a lot more than meets the eye. And with things like recurring dreams, is our subconscious is telling us something, and I think we have the answers in ourselves because we are creating those images to be interpreted by us. And so in meditation, I think we can begin to ask those questions and see what comes up, and just work with it, as opposed to going, that doesn't make sense to me. Just see what comes up, ask during meditation, why is that coming, and just see what comes through. And because I definitely think as well with intuition is it's like when we still our rational, logical mind, we're able to feel intuition much more strongly. And I think when we meditate, we switch off that rational mind and come into more stillness. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting though, recurring dreams. They are very interesting.
Oh my god, it's super weird. It's really weird. Every time it's like, why am I dreaming this again? Like, oh. And I've had this throughout my life actually. Like, I have messages in dreams, and like not always, but I've had like when I'm going through something significant, and then when I've figured it out, they go away, and then it's weird.
Yeah, I'm sure that the answers will come soon then. Yeah,
hopefully.
Cool.
Any more questions, guys? Mika, you have, oh, there we go, another question. Sophia, go for it.
Hi. I really like your presentation, Mika, and I got super interested in the visualization meditation. So I was wondering, so I've never really meditated, so I was wondering if I could start with that one, like how would you recommend to start? I don't know.
Well, a lot of meditations you can find on YouTube, and actually a lot of the meditations that I've done are visualization meditations. So I will describe different scenes, and kind of as I'm journeying there in my own head, I'm inviting people through the meditation to go there with me. And so I think a good way of doing that is just getting onto YouTube, and you will find, for the most part, unless you're looking up mindfulness meditation, for the most part, meditations that are offered will be visualizations. But another thing is that this book, and you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to send over a list of resources based on what I've said today and things that I generally think would be good if you want to get into meditation, books and videos that I'll send to Jackie that she can send to you guys. But this book, Creative Visualization, was a really, really, really helpful book for understanding how to do it, giving different ways of like different visualization techniques, and also just knowing what she teaches about what you can gain from visualization. So I will send that over to Jackie, and I would highly recommend reading Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain.
Thank you. We have some, Tanya asked, can you share any good YouTube channels as well?
Yes, definitely. I've got my favorites.
But you've also got a YouTube channel, so we'll definitely share that as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For now, I've have videos that I've done live, and I put them on YouTube. And I also have a Spotify with a few audios as well. But I have some favorite people. There was a point where I was really, because I used to not listen to any guided meditation for a long time. I just did it on my own. And then I thought, I kind of want to be held in the space where someone is just guiding me, because it's really nice to have that and to sit back and really allow your body to relax. And I'll definitely send that out in the resource list. I'll put that in there 100%.
So what do you think is more powerful? Do you think guided meditation, or do you think actually you doing it is more meditation, more powerful, sorry.
Yeah, I think that you can experience really beautiful moments when people do meditations with you or, guide you through it. But I think overall, to get the full benefits, you have to create your own practice, because then you really are learning. It's like, it's like learning how to ride a bike. And, once you are on your own path and you're getting there, your muscles are working and it just gets easier and easier. Whereas when you have someone always helping you, I think it does help to really get you into that state of mind. But yeah, I mean, anyways, that's just for me, actually, because I'm sure there are people who actually listen to guided meditations and it's really, really helped them. So actually, I do think it depends on the person. But from my personal experience, doing the personal practice has been the main thing. Yeah.
Michal?
If anyone wants to try some apps, I have tried. What was that yellow one called? Orange one called?
Headspace.
Headspace. Yeah, I've tried Headspace. Yeah, I've tried Headspace before. It's fine. It's quite short. I think only the free version gets you one course, and it contains, I think, 10 or so lessons. That's good. I did that. I went through the course twice or 3 times. I've used Calm as well. Calm is fine. But the one that I'm using right now is called Waking Up. It's actually by Sam Harris, since you've mentioned him already before. It's his own app. And what's cool about it is that you can ask for a free account. You can just message you can just send an email to his support email, and they will grant you a free account.
Oh wow!
Like no questions asked, and you get access to everything that's in the app.
Whoa.
Which is extremely nice.
Mm.
Then can you send the details, please? Yeah, one thing that I was going to ask, Mika, because you've obviously dedicated quite a bit to the meditation. We spoke about it on the phone as well, and how you want to do something with it,
Mm-hmm.
Later on in life. So I was just wondering, how that. What is your personal connection or relationship with meditation? Why is it so meaningful to you?
Well, it's like Ananya said, I've obviously changed so much since I began, because I was 14 when I began. So much has changed. But I really feel like it's something that has stuck with me and helped me to create discipline, whilst also allowing myself to care for myself. Because a lot of the time we think of discipline as something that can be quite, create quite a lot of friction. But actually, every time I sat down to meditate, I was going, I deserve to be peaceful and restful, and I deserve to look after myself. And just the benefits that I've had from it makes me really think that I want this to be accessible for everyone. And I think that a lot of people are quite against it because, or, averse to it because of what they think it means. And it can be quite esoteric, or it's just not me. And I'm not here to push it on anyone, but for anyone who'd like to listen, it's just, I want to share just how much it can help. And I want to help people to find something that really benefits them, so that they can kind of take that into the power into their own hands. And I do just believe it leads to so much insight and self-awareness that, we would all benefit so much from it. And it's just something that I think has helped me so much, which makes me feel so passionate to share. And it's the main thing. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, it's really nice. Thank you, Michal.
I've sent the link.
Yes.
I've sent the link in the chat. Everything should be there.
Oh yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. And you said that you do live classes, or what is it? Do you host any events, or what is it that you do?
So at the moment, I've just been doing live sessions. I'm trying to do them every Wednesday. I won't be doing one this Wednesday, but in general, every Wednesday I do a live session I've been doing on Facebook and Instagram, but I might move to YouTube and Instagram because the Facebook's been a bit weird. and creating audios, so where I record myself and put them on Facebook, on Spotify, and I plan on putting them on YouTube. And then in the summer, I'm going to start doing a course for children, so children from 3 to like 19, and there'll be 2 groups that I'll be doing, and basically it's going to be an 8-week course to introduce children to meditation and help them to create their own practice. And I don't know where else it's going to take me. Right now I'm still at uni and I've got to juggle different stuff, so I know that I'm only like at the very beginning, and there are many projects I want to delve into, and in the summer I think I'll be able to kind of do more with my time in that way, because at the moment this is just kind of something I'm doing as a hobby. But yeah, so right now it's just the live videos, and I'm making other videos as well about just generally advice, and I've only made a few of those so far, but I want to create them some more, you know, just generally giving different bits of knowledge I've got, maybe showing my like qigong morning routine or something. But yeah, right now it's pretty much just the live videos, which involve meditating, but also talking about like the energetic themes, and I have a card reading I usually do, or like I'll recite a little bit of poetry or some writing that I've done. And yeah, it's just a kind of virtual space to come together, connect, and do some meditation, and hopefully leave feeling a little more relaxed and more kind of connected.
But do you feel like it's also just like you've got more control of your life? Like, do you feel like, because I mean, what, you're 20, right?
21.
21. Because like a lot of people in their early 20s like are struggling, you know, or they're struggling to maintain discipline, they're struggling to achieve the things that they want in life. And I know for myself, when I was that age, I just really couldn't get my shit together. Like, it was very difficult to just get into good routines and things, you know. So I'm just wondering, like, whether you find that a lot easier. If you have a goal, if you have something you want to do, you can just do it without a lot of struggle getting there.
Yeah, I definitely think that that's helped, but also I've always been very strong-willed from a young age. Like, I was such a disciplined child. It was kind of crazy because my parents didn't give me any rules whatsoever. Me and my sister would like eat super noodles for breakfast. Like, we could do anything we wanted to do. And I maybe, you know, they say that actually when children have less boundaries, they create them themselves. But then my sister wasn't like that at all. She was like a tornado. So I mean, I think it's part to do with my nature. Is I've always been very, you know, good at doing stuff, but I think that just generally with the meditation is it's helped me to accept the parts of myself that I haven't enjoyed. And I think a lot of our struggles, it isn't about how to do things, it's about how to accept what we're going through internally. And like, even though I've always been the strong-willed, determined person, that's also led to so many moments of me just feeling like I can't sit still with myself, and that's been really horrible. Just being like, why can't I stop? Why can't I slow down? And it's great I have this drive, but I feel like I'm being eaten by the drive. So actually, what's more important for me has been so much inner conflict has been released, and I've been able to accept myself, which is more important than, you know, being able to be disciplined, because that will come with like, I think at the end of the day, discipline's quite a difficult word because I always associated it with kind of not very good things. But now I'm realizing that actually, like, the first thing is accepting what we can and can't do, and that will lead to us doing what we need to do the way we do it.
I agree, actually. I think, like, for myself, like, I think it takes a lot of I became disciplined when I just understood myself better. When you take the time to really know what you want in life, and that requires a lot of insight, and getting to a point where you accept the things you can't control and just focus on what you can control, and it's just about filtering through all the bollocks that's going on in your head.
Yes, exactly.
Focus. But yeah, so I do think it's like a very useful tool when you're like quite young as well, because you've got to figure out so much.
Yeah.
It's super confusing.
Yeah. And that's why I'm so excited to do with children, because we don't get those tools as children. And, you know, children, you know, when you get into an anxious, scared or sad state, you don't really know how to calm yourself down. And it's important to be able to self-soothe. and to not lash out at other people. And I mean, yeah, I would have loved to have meditation as a child. And the thing is, my dad, you were saying when you were a child, you found it easy to visualize. So that was my issue. Like my dad would tell me stories, and I would be like, he would tell me stories to get me to sleep, and I would be like, I'm in this amazing place. How am I meant to sleep now? You know, you've like woken up all this stuff in my head. So yeah, it's definitely important to help children to relax.
Yeah, it's true. That should be really exciting though, working with children.
I love children. I'm looking forward to the summer.
Oh, that's amazing. Do Tanya or Alexia have any questions? You guys are quiet today.
Actually, before I got here, I was about to go to sleep. Like you texted me and I was in bed and I was like, oh, I have to wake up now.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm just kind of feeling chaos and I'm being, I don't know, silent now. But I heard everything you said, and thank you for the presentation. It was really nice.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm really happy you got this chance to work with children and do what you love.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't started yet, but I mean, I'm really looking forward to starting. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. It's 9:15. Do you what do you want to do, Mika? Would you like to go a little bit further, or what do you think?
I think it's all good. Yeah, I think that's ending on quite a good note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually, I think sometimes it can be a bit more talkative. But I thought it was really interesting, and it's really inspired me to get back into it personally. Because self-care is so amazing, and it's so important. And like I have little routines that I just do for myself where I just get into this meditative state, but I'm not actively meditating, but it's just like the stuff that I do that I'm just like, this is the best times in the day, you know, when you do things for yourself.
Exactly.
As selfish as it sounds.
No, it's not selfish at all. I think that's something that we need to get rid of, that self-care is selfish, because if we're not there for ourselves, we really cannot be there for anyone else.
So true. It's 100% true. Yes, Michal?
There are two things. There's this light that's like splashing all over Tanya's face and her body. It looks that. It looks so good.
Hey, I have one too.
Oh, cute.
When you said like staring into the candle, I was like, damn, I felt chaos today and I just had to put on a candle.
Oh, you guys have candles. I love it. I'm missing out on the candle party. Oh no, my laptop is gonna die. I should have brought the charger up here. Yeah. Oh, so glad everyone's in a peaceful mood with their candles. Yeah.
Yes, you've definitely. I think everyone feels a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
And also, Mika, if you want, I used to do for for a job. I used to do freelance YouTube stuff. I have experience with that.
Cool.
2 years experience with YouTube. So if you need any help with that, just feel free to hit me up.
Yes. Oh, that'd be amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, that'd be lovely. Yeah, definitely. Maybe I can get your details through Jackie somehow, and we can like have a call or something.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And send me all the stuff with your YouTube as well, because I really want to see it. I think you have actually sent it to me, to be fair. I'll double check. But I will definitely watch your videos, subscribe.
Yes. And I'll get you a resource list of all the stuff, all the information I've used and everything. Yeah.
Yes. And I think also like the fact that it has all these health benefits, you know?
Yeah.
That's one thing that I think is really nice, because it's like, They always just tell you to exercise, but actually meditating while you're exercising, right? And maybe it's the meditation that is better for you than the exercise.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that a lot of the time, you know, it's the way it's not what we do, it's the way we do the things. So, you know, it's not like I always think the same with eating, it's not what we eat, it's sometimes how we eat and or when we eat. And so yeah, it's just so much is happening and it's all really exciting. Yeah.
Oh, wow, thank you so much for coming tonight.
I enjoyed it so much.
Yes, I'm glad. I think the recording will be sent to you, but I'll definitely double check and make sure that you've got it.
Okay.
And yeah, does anyone have any last comments or questions for Mika? No? Okay. All right, thank you so much.
No worries. So glad to have come. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Have a lovely evening and enjoy your Easter weekend, everyone. And I hope you feel better soon, Tanya.
Thanks.
Do some
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I'll meditate. Have a nice evening.
Have a nice evening, guys. So glad to meet you all.
Bye.
So much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.